Hello there, everybody. This is Amista. I am here today to answer the question, or help you answer a question, which is, are you psychic? I have a lot of people that ask me, can anybody be a psychic? Um, I'm going to tell you, absolutely. The answer is yes. I believe that we are all actually psychic. I believe that we're all born with psychic abilities. And I'll tell you why. Not that it's scientifically documented or anything, but it is my theory. And you can take it or you can leave it. If you don't want to hear it, you can shut the video off right now. It's all good. But my theory about that is when we come into our bodies, before we're actually in the bodies, we are spirit. And as spirit, we do a lot of communicating before we get into the bodies. We pick our moms, we pick our dads, we decide where we want to be born, what time we want to be born. There's a lot of communication that has to go along with that. We choose our spirit guides and make agreements with them. There's just all kinds of communication that has to happen for someone to come into this manifestation the way I see it. This is what I believe. And so we come into our bodies being spirits that just naturally communicate with each other. It's part of our personality. It's part of what we do. It's part of how we get along. And so when we come into the body, we still know how to do that. We don't just automatically forget because now the spirit is running this little body. But what does happen over time is we do gradually get distracted by our bodies, by the need for food, by the need for drink, by the need for shelter, by the need for affection and love. And so at the same time that we're getting distracted by these physical, tangible things that have to be taken care of around us for us to be able to stay in these bodies, a lot of times in many different cultures, and certainly in the one that I grew up in, if we do show any signs of being psychically sensitive, that's kind of squelched out of us pretty early. For any of you who remember having imaginary friends when you were little, I really think that most of you who have imaginary friends actually are seeing children's spirits around you or other spirits around you who are friendly. At least hopefully they're friendly. And you're naturally operating in a mediumship capacity whenever you're doing that. But a lot of times whenever somebody does have somebody around that they talk to and play with, what do parents usually do? They suppress that. They generally will say, you want to get rid of that by the time you get to preschool or kindergarten or whatever it is, so nobody makes fun of you. So we learn really early on to suppress any communication with other spirits, especially if it's communication with other spirits that people around us can realize that we're doing or pick up on. Then that's just in general. Now, some families are much more open to that type of stuff and let it happen, but in general, in this culture, it gets suppressed, and so we kind of push it back and push it back and push it back until we forget all about being able to communicate with spirit. So what happens for those people who are psychic is they either grow up in a home that does not squelch that out of them, or for most of us who find our abilities or re-find our abilities at a later age, generally it's because of something traumatic. Most of the psychics that I met whenever I was first understanding my abilities had also found their psychic abilities at a later date in their life, and it was generally because they had lost a son, sometimes a daughter, or they had lost a male significant other. And usually these were ladies who had picked up on these abilities at that point. My theory for that is that when we lose someone like that, it makes us more open to hear from the other side because we hope that that person is on the other side and we hope that they can communicate with us. And so we become more open to hearing from the other side than we would have been before a trauma like that happened to us. That's certainly what happened to me. But there's, it doesn't have to be that you open up that way. You can decide that you want to open up to speak with spirit, and you can just begin to do that consciously as well. You don't have to wait for something traumatic to happen to do that. But yes, we are all psychic. We're all born psychic. Most of us have it squashed out of us by the time we're 4 or 5 years old, but it's still there. It's just lying dormant, waiting for us to tap into it. So thank you so much, everybody, for stopping by, for watching, listening, sharing, subscribing, commenting. I appreciate all the support. Everyone have a fantastic day. Peace out.